And good evening, everyone, and welcome into the UFC Fight Cards podcast presented by Orange Fire Media. I'm Russ Renault, and thanks for joining us here. It is still Saturday night for a few more minutes, and we just want to welcome you back after this UFC 301 card. We'll get to that in just a minute. Took the last few weeks off. We had an off week for the UFC 2 weeks ago, and then we were on vacation last week, so we were out of town. And I couldn't bring you a show last week, but we are back here. So this is the first time we've been back since UFC 300, and so we get UFC 301, which wasn't exciting as that card overall, but man, we had a great main event tonight, so it was awesome. So let's get right to it. Just to get some things out of the way, if you like the show, if you've been around a while, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that, and we'll be back regularly now that we got little time off and are able to get in here every week again now. And so we'll be bringing you instant reactions for the rest of the year after each card. So main event in the flyweight division, Alexandre Pantoja against number 10 Steve Erceg. Kind of a weird deal with number 10 ranked contender getting a shot at the title here, but Pantoja's kind of been around a while and is taking care of business in this division, while Moreno and Figueiredo and all those guys mixing in, it's just kind of time for Pantoja. And so he's gone through all those guys already, and so Erceg's kind of the one left, and man, this thing delivered. What a great fight. And so Alexandre Pantoja holds on to the belt. Barely. Gets a unanimous decision. It's 49-46 on one of those cards. That was kind of nuts. The other one's 48-47 in his favor. Could have gone 48-47 the other way, but just kind of the way the fight went, maybe that takedown attempt that Erceg made late in the fight cost him, as Pantoja was able to stuff it and then get on top and kind of ride that out to the end of the round. So the visuals there at the end definitely in the favor of Pantoja after Erceg had opened up that big cut on Pantoja's right eye. And so that was a visual there that, could have ridden out the rest of the fight. And if it kind of gone either way, then you see that blood and you think, oh, well, Erceg, maybe we give this decision to him, but kind of cost himself late. And that happened a lot tonight. As we'll talk about here in just a minute. So we'll be taking a look at some cards today. So we do have a few left, a few updates to give you on some of the stuff that's moved this week. All of our cards are available on our eBay store, where you can find the Orange Fire Lots of Lots store, where we put all of our cards that are left up there. Been moving a lot of stuff lately. So we don't have a whole lot left, and hopefully we get some, maybe in the next couple of shows or so, we get some Topps Chrome to just kind of, mess around with. But, these instant reactions have been the bigger deal lately. But we still kind of keep an eye on the hobby and what everybody's into and what everybody's pulling. And so we'll take a look at that a little bit later. So great job at Pantoja, Steve Erceg, delivering on this card that was just kind of okay. Coming off 300 is going to be hard to live up to, but it was good. Jose Aldo in the co-main event, making his return in the bantamweight division and getting a unanimous decision over 14th ranked Jonathan Martinez. So a great way for the King to come back home and get a win, and who knows what that means for Jose Aldo going forward. Probably just some big names at this point. Don't think that bantamweight title's in the mix, but you never know. It's Jose, so they'll probably take care of him as much as they want to and need to, and so we'll just keep an eye on it and see what happens going forward. He said he doesn't want that to be his last fight, so who knows. So here's the weird deal. The third and fourth fights, we had back-to-back guillotine choke submissions in the first round. We'll talk about just kind of going backwards. Light heavyweight matchup, number 10 Anthony Smith against number 15 Vitor Petrino, and Petrino was looking good until he wasn't, and so kind of went in there and just ill-advised. Anthony Smith, veteran, had a ton of fights in the UFC and just latched onto the neck and didn't let go. So submission 2 minutes into the first round. And so a big win for Anthony Smith as he continues, a little bit of a streak here. Now defeated Ryan Spann and now gets Vitor Petrino. And so maybe that gets him back into top 10 and who knows. I don't think that there's a title shot down the road for Anthony Smith just with the logjam in this division. I just don't think he's going to be able to overcome that at his age and get back into that picture right now. But you never know. Weird stuff happens all the time in UFC. So the first of the back-to-back submissions, we had Michel Pereira getting a guillotine choke on Ihor Potieria 56 seconds into the fight. Pereira is just crazy, man. That just nuts. Got Potieria down, just kind of doing those sawmill kicks back over, and then latched onto the neck, and it was over. So very entertaining performance for Michel Pereira this evening. So then the first fight on the main card tonight was a middleweight matchup between number 15 Chao Borralho and number 13 Paul Craig. And Borralho just looking good for the Brazilians tonight. I think they went 10-3 was the final count that I believe. 10-3 for the Brazilians in Rio de Janeiro tonight. So Borralho getting a second round knockout of Paul Craig, just putting him down. Just looked great against a great opponent. So Borralho really, moving the needle tonight. Just looking at the rest of the card, we don't have to go through every single fight. We just kind of point out the highlights. Joe Anderson Brito defeating Jack Shore with a TKO in the second round. That was doctor stoppage, and if you've seen pictures of that, that is nasty on Jack Shore's leg. I mean, just a deep, deep gash that the doctor, put his finger in. It was sick. So sorry for those a little squeamish, and sorry for, giving away these results, but you know what you were getting when you saw instant reaction. So what else happened tonight? So Yasmin Lucendo, another Brazilian, defeating number 13 Carolina Kovalkiewicz in the women's strawweight division. Getting a unanimous decision there, looking great. Here's the one fight that I wanted to point out, because these are some people that we're going to be looking at in the years to come, and this is going to be one of those matchups you kind of look back on and say, okay, that these guys were in this for a while. So lightweight matchup, Miktebek Orlabai defeating Elvis Brenner by unanimous decision. So 29-27 across the board, because Orlabai grabbing the cage in the third round, so that cost him a point, but took care of business overall. And Brenner, one of the bigger rookies in the 2024 product. So besides Diego Lopez, Brenner's kind of somebody that people have been pointing out in 2024, but suffers the loss tonight. Stock goes down a little bit, but, Orlabai is a great story and one of the up-and-comers. So you just kind of hit that, on your way. You kind of hit those top guys. You're both on the way up, and you just kind of got to keep climbing that ladder. Drakkar Klose defeating Joaquim Silva. So Klose, one of the big rookies from last year. That's probably the big ones for the fight. Mauricio Duffy, impressive performance against Jamie Malarkey with a TKO in the first round. So that was a great UFC 301 card. Coming off UFC 300, it just keeps going, and we'll talk about UFC 302 here in just a minute. As we get through, we'll talk about the fight night cards before that. We've got some great pay-per-views coming up And also just some good fight nights, to be honest. Some of those are pretty good too. So fight night next weekend from St. Louis. Glad they're not in the Apex. Kind of moving away from those a little bit more. Don't have as many of those coming up actually. So we'll tell you where those are. So St. Louis next week, heavyweight main event. Number 12 Derek Lewis against number 15 Rodrigo Nascimento. Welterweight matchup. This is a good one. Number 11 Joaquin Buckley against Nursultan Ruziboev. Light heavyweight matchup. Number 11 Alonzo Minifield against Carlos Ulberg. I don't know how many cards that this fight has been on at this point, but finally looking forward to that one getting into the octagon. Just other ranked fighters. Number 15 Alex Caceres against Sean Woodson. Then in the women's divisions in strawweight, number 11 Tabitha Ricci against Ticia Pennington, formerly Ticia Torres, married to Raquel Pennington, the bantamweight champion. So yeah, that's a pretty decent card next weekend in St. Louis. Then we go back to the Apex, Edson Barboza, Laurent Murphy. Just ranked fighters in this one. In the women's strawweight division, Luana Pinheiro against Angela Hill is on that card. Adrian Yanez is back in action. Abus Magomedov. Disappointing for us Haley Cowan fans here on the UFC Fight Cards podcast. Haley Cowan and Tamaris Vidal is still on. It's still listed on the schedule, but Haley Cowan will not be making that event. I mean, nasty break of the ankle. Said she was doing some rolling on the mat. Didn't think much of it at the time, but then it just set in, and just you can see online just some nasty pictures of her ankle, and she will not be able to go on May 18th after that. So hopefully we'll see Haley down the line. It's kind of just been one setback after the other, but just I know that she's just committed to seeing this thing through, and she's ready to get back in there. So good luck to her, and wishing her the best in her recovery and seeing her back in there, whenever that heals up. So then we get to UFC 302, June 1st in Newark, New Jersey. Obviously a huge main event, lightweight matchup between the champion Islam Makhachev and the number 4 ranked contender Dustin Poirier. Big fan favorite. Poirier looking for, he held an interim title at one time, looking to add that undisputed title. It's the only thing lacking from his career, calling him the best to have never won an undisputed title, and I believe he wants, of course he wants to put that to bed. So we'll see. We'll see what Poirier can do, because it's a great matchup. Like, they've never faced each other before, so it's what's left. It's what's out there after what happened with Gaethje and Oliveira. So Oliveira wouldn't have been able to turn around in this one anyway. So Poirier gets this shot right here. And also the co-main event, middleweight matchup between the former champion Sean Strickland and number 7 Paulo Costa. Tatsuro Taira, number 13th ranked flyweight. This is somebody to keep your eye on if you're Alessandro Pantoja, Steve Erceg. Tatsuro Taira facing Joshua Van. Nico Price, Alex Morono. Alex Morono trains here in our area of Houston, so kind of keep an eye on him in that welterweight division. Middleweight matchup here, number 9 Roman Dolidze against number 12 Anthony Hernandez. That's a big one too. So looking forward to UFC 302 with Grant Dawson, Joe Selecki on there, Phil Rowe, Jake Matthews. Pretty solid card there for the next pay-per-view. Then we've got Fight Night, June 8th, Louisville, Kentucky. Don't know the main event yet, but we know that Raul Rosas Jr., Ricky Tercios, in a bantamweight matchup will be on that card. Who else we got? Light heavyweight matchup, number 14 Dominic Reyes, Dustin Jacoby. Well, the rookies from last year, John Castaneda, in those 2023 products. Then Fight Night, June 22nd, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, as UFC makes its way over there for the first time. Middleweight main event between number 3 Robert Whitaker and number 11 Hamzat Chimaev. Heavyweight matchup between number 3 Sergey Pavlovich, number 6 Alexander Volkov. Light heavyweight matchup, number 7 Johnny Walker against number 9 Volkan Ozdemir. So yeah, that one's shaping up to be pretty awesome as well. Then we get to UFC 303. We didn't get a chance to talk about this one because it was announced kind of the Tuesday after the last time we were on, and obviously we've been looking forward to this for a really long time. UFC 303, June 29th from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and the main event is a welterweight matchup between Conor McGregor and the number 7 ranked lightweight contender Michael Chandler. So obviously, following last season of The Ultimate Fighter, we've been looking forward to this for almost a year now. Will almost be a year since that aired, that these two are going to finally go at it. So obviously looking forward to that. Light heavyweight matchup is scheduled in this as well. Number 3, Jamal Hill, former champion, against number 8, Khalil Roundtree Jr. Women's bantamweight matchup, number 3, Mayra Bueno Silva, coming off that loss in that vacant title matchup between Raquel Pennington, making her return against number 7, Macy Chiasson. Cub Swanson, Andre Feely, Joe Pyfer, Marc-Andre Barriot in the middleweight division, and women's strawweight matchup, number 14, Michelle Waterson-Gomez against number 15, Jillian Robertson. So that is all the fights that are scheduled, and we'll talk about some of the events that are scheduled as well. So we know UFC 304 will be July 27th in Manchester. No fight scheduled there yet. Fight night, August 3rd in Abu Dhabi. UFC 305, August 17th from Perth, Australia. And UFC 308, October 26th from Abu Dhabi. So that is all that we know about the schedule. Don't know anything about UFC 306, 307, and 308 yet. Gonna have to throw. They usually throw 2 there in August, so probably the 31st will be another. Will be 306, and then 307 will be sometime in September, probably late September. So that rounds out everything, and we've kind of covered it all. And we appreciate you being here for an instant reaction. We do this after every UFC event that we're in town for. That's actually the first one we've missed in a long time. But thanks for allowing me the time off and, coming back here strong with a pay-per-view card. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. So pulled these out tonight. Just got the Alessandro Pantoja 2020 Topps rookie card. So just wanted to pull that out because we do have one of those. And then, since we've got the announcement for UFC 303, decided to pull out the Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler cards that we have left. So we actually had a slab of Michael Chandler. It was a 2023 Chronicles Gold Flux Auto, numbered 10. So somebody wanted that slab, but they didn't want the rest of it for a little bit more. So we actually have one Michael Chandler auto left. So let's go through those. Michael Chandler, we got autographs from last year. I've also got the score from Chronicles 2021. This is number 2 of 49. So that's a score purple. It's also a rookie card of Chandler. This one, Chronicles certified. All these are rookies of Michael Chandler. Got the regular Flux and the Elite. So you end up with autograph and 4 Michael Chandler Chronicles rookie cards. We also got a 2022 Ruby Wave from Prism. So all those there with the Optographs auto. So that's available. I haven't relisted that one yet on eBay. I haven't listed the McGregors yet either. I've got some other Michael Chandler cards. All these are kind of just throw-ins. A couple of press proofs in there just to add to your Michael Chandler stash if you need it. But, an auto and a, of 49 is not bad. Not a bad lot. So here we go with Conor McGregor. Got 2022 contenders. So this one is numbered to 99. So this is from Optic from 2022. So got 2 Conor McGregor numbered cards. So this is from 2021, the Rookies and Stars. And that one's numbered to 149. So 2 Conor McGregor numbered cards. Then a bunch of Conor. Different stuff thrown in there. 2020, some 2015 tops. And there, that one. It's pretty cool. UFC 189, one of the greatest cards ever. Some people say it is. So that's our look at some of the cards we have left. Just something that we throw in on the show, so a little bit different, so you don't talk about fights the entire time, but we enjoy it anyway. So thanks for joining us here on the UFC Fight Cards podcast, and welcome back after 2 weeks off. So we appreciate you letting us do that. Subscribe and follow. You can follow us on all of the audio podcast platforms. If you're not able to watch, you can listen. You can still catch us every week after the fight. So I'm Russ Renault, and have a good rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your night after the fights. It's a good way to wind down after that. If you're anything like me, that's kind of why we do this at this time, because it's hard to go to bed after watching fights for a few hours. So thanks everybody, and we will see you again next time right here on the UFC Fight Cards podcast, presented by Orange Fire Media.